Let's talk about the 7 deadly sins.
私が7つの大罪、傲慢の罪、ライオン神、エスカノール様だ。
Not this one. Yes. This one, the 7 sins of memory. Let's start with transience, a sin of omission that occurs naturally and often without effort. It reflects the tendency of memories to weaken over time. Transience can be likened to the sin of sloth, a sin characterized by a lack of effort. Though more than simple laziness, it may also involve neglecting to do something even more deeper. Enter Harlequin, the fairy king who embodies the sin of sloth. He is often depicted as lazy, levitating or lounging instead of acting. For centuries, Harlequin wandered with no memory of himself. I think the anime states that he experienced the trauma that led to his memory loss. But his forgetting mirrors the essence of transience itself. Research shows that forgetting happens most rapidly in the first few minutes, hours, days, and weeks before leveling off into more stable general themes. In diary studies and workplace research, people tend to recall recent events in vivid details, but a week later they tend to remember only the typical activities of the workday. Similar studies of Thanksgiving memories show that while people held on to general features, specific details such as clothing or conversations disappeared quickly. This generalization is partly due to interference from subsequent similar experiences. Like Harlequin, memory sometimes turns inwards. It conserves energy by letting the final details of an experience fade, preserving only the routines or generalized aspects of events, the lessons or associating emotions. To guard against the sin of transience, the antidote is the depth of encoding, which implies connecting new experiences to existing knowledge or prior understanding. What we elaborate, we preserve. What we skim, we tend to lose. Though it can be seen like a flaw, Daniel Schacter emphasizes that transience is not purely a weakness. It reflects an adaptive feature of memory, preserving only what is essential for future understanding. And so, Meliodas, captain of the 7 deadly sins, can be described as calm, kind, and very playful. But under that quiet smile lies the dragon sin of wrath. He is chill until he isn't, and when his anger is unleashed, it's devastating. Now, imagine your brain like Meliodas. Most of the time, it's peaceful, steady, and composed. But then, there is that moment when you're trying to remember a name. You know that name. You can picture the face, where you met, but that name won't come out. The more you try, the angrier you get. That is the memory sin of blocking. Blocking is one of the most common memory failures. It is what psychologists refer to as the tip of the tongue phenomenon. Research shows that blocking occurs most often with proper names. Why? This is simply because names are weakly linked in memory. Let's take this example. This surname, Baker, has no association with any other memory. On the other hand, the word baker, that is the profession, connects to a web of meaning, including the bakery, flour, oven, and even bread. When that network fails to activate, the word gets trapped, hence we're unable to retrieve the name that we're seeking. According to Burke and Mackay's model, blocking happens when our semantic and phonological systems fall out of sync. You know the concept, but the sound, the label, is blocked. Competing words such as those of his sisters crowd the channel, trapping the right answer behind a wall of interference. And just as Meliodas' wrath was triggered by the loss of his loved object to the point of wiping out an entire nation from existence, your frustration during blocking often feels bigger than the moment deserves. It's just a name, but it feels like the ground should split while you fall through simply because of your inability to recall at that very moment. Blocking is in decay. You can describe it as competition between memories, a sign of a living selective memory system. When your mind suppresses the wrong answer to find the right answer, sometimes it overshoots. The word isn't lost, it's just waiting for the storm to pass. So, next time a name slips away, don't rage like Meliodas conferred with the dragon's sin of wrath. Give it time, your brain will calm and the memory will eventually return. Blocking isn't absence. Its precision is memory's momentary wrath in pursuit of order. Just like absent-mindedness is a sin of omission that arises from the breakdown at the interface between attention and memory. It occurs when we fail to fully attend to an experience at the moment of encoding or retrieval. This explains those everyday lapses, such as misplacing your keys, forgetting an appointment, or leaving something important behind. Even the world-renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma once left his $2.5 million cello in the trunk of a car. Absent-mindedness often stems from divided attention. Even though our focus is split, information may still be encoded, but only at a very shallow level. Later, we get a vague sense of familiarity. We know we've seen or done something, yet the details are gone. In Nanatsu no Taizai, or the Seven Deadly Sins, Merlin embodies the sin of gluttony. But her gluttony isn't for food, it is for knowledge. She tends to devour magic, power, and secrets, often at the expense of presence. Like Merlin, we sometimes consume too much information, which divides attention until depth of processing collapses. Her mind, jogging spells and timelines, mirrors our modern world of screens, multitasking, and pings. In hunger for discovery and knowledge, Merlin paid no heed to Escanor, the one man who loved her deeply. She was too absorbed in experiments and pursuits, and too distracted to see devotion. Like Merlin, we sometimes fail to notice what truly matters because our attention is consumed elsewhere. Absent-mindedness is also involved in prospective memory, which is remembering to act in the future. Sometimes it's event-based, like mailing a letter when you see a mailbox, and other times it is time-based, remembering to make a call at 4 p.m. Studies show that reminders help most when they appear at the right retrieval moment. Yet, Schacter reminds us that absent-mindedness isn't purely a flaw. Automaticity, which is the ability to do things without thinking, is an adaptive strength. It conserves energy, allowing us to move efficiently through the world. The challenge then is balance, which is to stay aware even when the mind moves automatically. Attention is the gatekeeper of memory. Without it, moments slip through the cracks, leaving us with vague familiarity instead of vivid recall. To protect our memory from the sin of absent-mindedness, guard your attention, because even the greatest minds, like Merlin, can lose what they fail to truly see.